Before we begin, take a deep breath. This isn't just a story. It's a mirror for every person who's ever been told they were too much, too different, or not enough. But guess what? You are enough. More than enough. If stories of resilience, justice, and truth move you, tap that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's dive into a story that will stay with you long after the last word is spoken. The classroom was so quiet you could hear the scratch of pens being dropped, the nervous coughs, even the hum of the lights above. Zara Thompson sat still at her desk, her fingers trembling slightly as she stared down at her math test. In bold, unmistakable red ink, 100%, perfect, flawless, unheard of. But there were no cheers, no congratulations, just cold eyes, suspicious looks. And at the front of the room, Mr. Grayson, the math teacher, stood frozen in disbelief. "This," he said, voice low but sharp, "can't be real." It wasn't just disbelief in his voice. It was doubt, not just doubt in the score, but in her. Zara had seen that look before, not just from Mr. Grayson, but from people like him her entire life. She had answered every question right. She had stayed up late studying, solving practice tests by hand, while her classmates relied on tutors. She had earned that score. But Mr. Grayson wasn't questioning the grade. He was questioning her right to have it. "You expect me to believe that you, of all people, scored higher than every other student in this room?" The pause before "you" hit like a slap across the face. Some students chuckled. Some shifted uncomfortably. None spoke. Zara swallowed hard. Her voice came out steady, but her heart was pounding. "Yes, I studied. I worked for it." But Mr. Grayson didn't even flinch. "There's no way this is legitimate. You must have cheated." The word landed like a dagger. A quiet gasp rippled through the classroom. Laughter followed from Logan's side of the room. Macy covered her mouth in fake shock, but the smugness in her eyes gave her away. Zara's face flushed with shame. Not because she had cheated, but because someone in power had just called her a fraud in front of everyone. "That's not true," she said. "I've always been good at math." "Then prove it," Grayson snapped. "Solve the problems again, right now." He slammed a blank sheet on her desk. Zara stared at it, not because she couldn't do it, but because this wasn't about the test anymore. This was about humiliation, about power, about a teacher who had never believed in her worth, trying to erase her brilliance. "Why don't you make Logan or Macy redo their tests too?" she asked quietly. Grayson narrowed his eyes. "Because they didn't score a perfect 100. Zara sat up straighter. "Or maybe it's because I'm black." The air in the room turned heavy. Zara's voice didn't shake now. It was calm, powerful, honest. "You've never treated me like I mattered. Never called on me when I raised my hand. Never gave me the credit I earned. But the moment I outperform your favorites, you accuse me of cheating?" Silence, the kind that screams. Even students who usually ignored her sat still, listening. Grayson's face twisted in rage. "This is nonsense." He grabbed her paper, crumpled it, and declared, "Your grade is void. Until further notice, you're under investigation." Zara's heart dropped. She felt sick, humiliated. "This isn't fair," she whispered. "Life isn't fair," he snapped. And then fate intervened. The door creaked open, and Principal Marcus Dean walked in. Principal Dean was tall, composed, and carried an unspoken weight of authority. He didn't shout. He didn't need to. "Mr. Grayson," a word without hesitation. He turned and walked out. Grayson, flustered, followed. Zara stayed seated, her hands trembling under the desk. The class erupted into whispers. Guess your little plan didn't work, Thompson, Logan muttered. But Zara didn't respond, because something had shifted. In the hallway, Zara was led to a rolling cart with a laptop on it. The screen showed paused footage, her classroom, earlier that morning. Dean pressed play. There was Grayson, alone before students had arrived, flipping through tests. He paused at hers. His mouth moved, words barely audible. Then, clear as day, "There's no way in hell she's that smart." Zara's stomach turned. "This isn't the first time," Dean said. "We have more footage, more incidents." Ms. Perez added softly, "You're not in trouble, Zara. But Mr. Grayson is." Seconds later, Grayson reappeared, angry, sweating, frantic. "This footage means nothing. She's manipulating you." Dean didn't raise his voice. "Number, the truth is finally louder than your lies." And then, the moment that changed everything. "Mr. Grayson, you are officially suspended, effective immediately." Grayson was stunned, powerless. Security was called. No one defended him, and as he was escorted away, Zara stood quietly. Not in revenge, but in dignity. Dean turned to her. "Miss Thompson, we've reached out to academic organizations. They've seen your scores. They've seen your courage." He smiled. "You've been offered a full scholarship to any university you choose." Zara's knees almost gave out. This wasn't a reward. This was recognition. Something she'd been denied for years. By lunch, news had spread like wildfire. Students stared. Some came up to congratulate her. "You showed him. You earned that. You're a legend now, Zara." But not everyone was celebrating. Logan stood at his lunch table, voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "What a scam. Play the victim and win a prize, huh?" Zara stood up, slowly, calmly. "The only one exposed here was your teacher, and your ego." She stepped closer. "You think this was luck? I've been working twice as hard as you just to be seen. Maybe you're just not ready to admit I'm better than you." The cafeteria fell silent. Logan's face turned red. He left without another word. And Zara? She sat back down, not victorious, just free. The next morning, the school gathered for an assembly. Principal Dean took the stage. "Yesterday, we took a step toward justice. But this isn't just about one teacher. This is about changing the way we see our students, our future." He turned to Zara in the front row. "Miss Thompson, please stand." She rose. Zara didn't fight for herself alone. She stood for every student who's ever been silenced, doubted, or dismissed. The applause began. And then, the announcement that shook the room. Zara Thompson has earned a full academic scholarship to any university of her choice, for her brilliance, her courage, and her refusal to shrink. The crowd rose. Cheers, whistles, applause. Even teachers were wiping tears. And Zara finally smiled. Not because she won a scholarship, but because she proved something greater. You can't bury brilliance. You can't silence truth. And when justice finally shows up, it changes everything. Zara's story is not just hers, it's ours. For everyone who's been underestimated. For every girl who's been told to sit down. For every person whose greatness was questioned. This is your reminder to rise. Share your story in the comments. Subscribe for more true stories that heal, uplift, and inspire. And always remember, you are more than their doubt. You are unstoppable.